Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, starting from tomorrow, there will be a Salah time change. Fajr Salah will be at 6, Asr at 4:45, and Isha at 8. Again, starting from tomorrow, there will be a change in Salah time. Fajr Salah will be at 6, Asr Salah will be at 4:45, and Isha will be at 8. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Wa ba'd. Among the many shortcomings that we need to improve on in our salah, and inshallah we'll talk about this, so there's a long list, so we'll talk about them just for our own improvement. The next one comes in the hadith itself, in which Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, let not your salah resemble certain animals. The hadith comes in Jami' at-Tirmidhi. He says, do not make your salah resemble certain animals. And what does he say? A few qualities in particular. The first quality is, do not make your sajda like a lion. What does that mean? If you ever look at a lion, a kalb, a dog, don't make your sajda like a dog. What does a dog do? It extends its arms. When a person does sajda, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, don't just let your arms extend out in front of you, rather do sajda in a way where your hands are by your face and your elbows are sticking out. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do sajda, they say there was enough space between his body and the ground that a small animal can walk beneath him. The way the sisters, our women folk are meant to pray is a bit more closed. The way men are meant to pray is when they have their hands to the side, their abdomen area is going to be a bit higher, and their elbows will stick out a little bit. Not that we keep it closed or we go down. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, don't keep your hands extended like that, don't keep your hands anywhere, just keep it in a way where your elbows are flared out slightly and you're elevated. The second one, he said, is don't be like the crow. What does a crow do? If you ever see a crow pecking in the ground, if there's some food, it'll peck, go and peck, go and peck. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, when we do our sajda, don't just go in sajda, come up and go right back. كَنَقْرَةِ الْغُرَابِ. Just like a crow just goes and comes back up, or even a chicken, you'll see it just goes and it pecks its food and it goes back. When we do our sajda, and we come up and we have the jalsa, we ought to sit down for a little amount of time where we can do the tasbih. Even if it's the duration of Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. I don't have to say anything. If I do, it's good. There's a certain dua that we can recite. But if I just wait, the distance of 3 tasbihs, 1 Subhanallah, 2 Subhanallah, 3 Subhanallah, and then I go into sajda. Not that I come up from sajda, and even before I don't even have my back straight, I'm going right back, because that resembles a crow. That resembles a chicken trying to get some food from the ground. And there's another one, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, don't be like the camel in the way you go down into sajda. There's many, I don't want to overburden, but just the 2 things that we should do our best not to imitate. The first is making sure that our sajda is such that my arms are flared out and I'm not being a bit lazy at my sajda where I'm just having my hand to my lap and I'm going down. Make sure I have ample amount of space. And the second one is, when I do my sajda, let me ensure that I go to sajda, I come up, and I wait a certain amount of time while I am in my jalsa. Between the 2 sajdas, I wait a certain amount of time, and then I go. One of the most important qualities that we can bring into our lives is itminan, composure. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he saw one of the Sahaba come and pray salah, and he said to him, you prayed your salah? Come here for a moment. He comes and he says, Irji' wa salli fa innaka lam tusalli. Go and repeat your salah. The Sahaba said, okay. He goes, he repeats his salah. And then he says, come back. He comes back and he says, Irji' wa salli fa innaka lam tusalli. He says, I want you to pray your salah a 3rd time, you didn't pray your salah. And he's like, okay. He goes and he prays his salah again. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, your salah didn't count. Let me explain to you what's wrong. The problem with your salah is not necessarily that your movements are problematic or you're doing something wrong. The transition, the connection between one unit, one movement to the next is so quick, it's as though you have no tuma'nina. It seems like you're erratic. It seems like you're uncontrolled. So when we're praying our salah, when I do my qiyam, I just slowly go into my ruku'. When I'm done with my ruku', I slowly go into my qawma. I wait for a moment. And then I go into my sajda. And then I get up. That transition from one to the next shouldn't be so quickly. It just seems like I'm rushing through the movements. So let's try to bring some composure in our salah, what we call tuma'nina, itminan, and that's one of the best ways to get khushu' in our salah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to rectify our prayers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to bring some more life into our prayers and follow the sunnah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.